Materials, Substances and Particles, Chapter 5A and B. What are materials, substances and particles? Materials are all around us. A material is the matter that an object is made of. Materials can be solids, liquids or gases. Materials can be natural or human-made. A substance is made of one type of matter. Material can be made of one or more substances. Each substance has its own properties. Concrete is a material used to make buildings. Concrete is made of rocks, sand, water, and other substances. All matter is made up of particles. The particles are so tiny that we cannot see them. Scientists use a model to understand how particles in different states of matter behave. The model is called the particle model. The particle model helps scientists explain the properties of matters. How can we use the particle model to describe the solids and liquids? Solids. Particles are packed very closely together. They have fixed positions. This gives solids a fixed volume. Liquids. Particles are not packed as closely together as in a solid. However, there is a very little space between the particles, so liquids have a fixed volume. Solids. Particles vibrate or move back and forth quickly. They cannot move around one another. This gives solid a fixed shape. Liquids. Particles move around one another, so liquids can flow and take the shape of any container. Now the question arises, can solids behave like liquids? Some solids such as salt and flour can behave like liquids. They take the shape of the container they are poured in. As you know, salt is a solid. It is made up of many small grains of solid salt. Changing state. What happens when a solid melts? When ice is placed in a warm room, it can change into water. This change from solid into liquid is called melting. We can use particle models to explain what happens during melting. Particles in a solid are packed closely together. When a solid is heated, its particles gain heat. They vibrate faster and move further apart. When the particles gain enough of the heat, they break away from their fixed positions and move around one another. The solids become a liquid. So as you can see in the diagram, when a solid is heated, the energy is gained by the particles and they vibrate faster. What happens to the solid particles during the process of melting? Solid gains heat and turns into liquid because of more energy. Solid wax melts and candle burns. Ice cream melts if it's left in a warm place. What happens when a liquid freezes? When water is cooled enough, it can change into ice. This change from liquid to solid is called freezing or solidification. When a liquid is freezed, its particles lose heat. They start to move slower and closer together. When particles lose enough heat, they settle into fixed positions. The liquid becomes a solid. The two examples that you may know are Juice in a tray freezes when kept in a freezer, and water in a lake can freeze during winter. What are physical changes? Changes of state are physical changes. In a physical change, no new substance is formed. One or more physical properties of the substance may change. Examples of physical change are changes in size, shape, and appearance. An example is when butter melts. It changes in size, shape, and appearance. Chemical reactions. What are chemical reactions? When some substances are mixed, they may interact or react to form a new substance. When a batter is baked in oven, a cake is formed. The cake is a new substance. A chemical change has happened. A chemical change involves a chemical reaction. One or more new substances are formed during a chemical reaction. Heat is either taken in or given out. Sometimes we may observe a change in color or shape. Wood burns in air. It changes into ash. A brown layer called rust forms when iron reacts with water and air.